Exciting times as we get closer to the Imola Grand Prix. We're just hours away, and we have our eyes on some major upgrades. These developments are significant, with many photos to go over. The teams are showing aggressive and surprising changes that we need to discuss. Let's start with the rear wings. First up, let's look at Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, and Aston Martin. Red Bull has brought a medium downforce rear wing. You can see that the lower plane is quite loaded, and the DRS plane is the most loaded of all teams. This wing also features a gurney flap. Ferrari has opted for a medium to low downforce rear wing. The lower plane isn't very loaded, but the upper plane is, and it features a gurney flap. Ferrari's rear wing is part of their significant upgrade package for this race. McLaren is running a medium downforce rear wing. The lower plane is heavily loaded, but the upper plane is quite skinny. This setup aims to improve the car's top speed, although it may reduce DRS effectiveness, a compromise given Imola's single DRS straight. Aston Martin has chosen a medium to high downforce rear wing, leaning towards higher downforce. The lower plane is significantly loaded, while the upper plane, like McLaren's, is skinny. This setup helps with top speed while focusing on better tire degradation management. Next, let's move on to Mercedes, Alpine, and Williams. Mercedes has opted for a medium downforce rear wing, with a heavily loaded lower plane and a slightly skinny upper plane. This is a similar compromise to McLaren's, balancing downforce and drag. Alpine has brought a medium to high downforce rear wing. Both the lower and upper planes are loaded, aiming for a higher downforce setup. Williams is running a medium downforce rear wing, with both planes equally loaded for a balanced compromise. It's interesting that both Mercedes and Alpine are not using gurney flaps, while Williams is. Moving on to the final three teams, Haas, Red Bull, and Sauber. Haas has chosen a medium to low downforce rear wing, with the DRS plane more loaded than the lower plane. Red Bull has a medium downforce wing with a significantly loaded lower plane and a lighter DRS plane. Sauber is running a medium downforce rear wing with both planes similarly loaded and featuring a gurney flap for maximum downforce with minimal efficiency loss. Now let's go over the specific upgrades teams have brought to the Imola Grand Prix. Ferrari, the first and most noticeable change is the new side pods design. Ferrari has implemented an overbite-style side pod inlet, similar to the Red Bull RB20. The upper lid of the side pod inlet is now more extended than the lower one. Additionally, the vertical air intake is integrated with the horizontal one to better feed the radiators, ditching the S-duct. This design increases the undercut region, rectifying the pressure field in this area. Moving towards the halo, the air outlet previously present is now missing, indicating that Ferrari has ditched the S-duct. There are also aerodynamic revisions around the halo. Up to the Miami Grand Prix, there was a carbon portion connecting the halo to the side pods, but now it's entirely anchored to the upper part of the side pods. This Cobra-esque shape functions as a vortex generator to guide and energize the air. Ferrari has elongated the mirror supports for small aerodynamic gains and better airflow management above the side pods. The engine cover has a new shape behind the halo to accommodate a larger air vent, ditching multi-gilled vents. The rear wing tips have been modified to be more pointed, increasing rear load without losing efficiency, inspired by the Mercedes design. Additionally, changes to the floor edge bracket include a cut to improve the car's rear end. These modifications helped unlock significant performance last year at Japan. Aston Martin has brought a new front wing with several changes. The end plate length has been extended to revise aerodynamic conditions around the front tires and suspension, aiming to tweak the car's front balance. The fairing linking the end plate and wing planes has been enlarged to maximize outwash and improve front-end downforce. The central section of the wing now has a single central support and an interesting cutout on the front wing's nose, possibly to provide more air to the driver in hotter temperatures. The nose tip is pointier, and there's a V-shaped area on the top flaps, a spoon section to reduce drag. Revisions to the side pods show aerodynamic profiling similar to steps, utilizing pressure differences to accelerate airflow from the lower side pods to the rear. Mercedes has a beam wing revision, with the upper element more horizontal to improve efficiency. Rear suspension changes aim to reduce tire overheating and improve degradation. Red Bull. Despite Max Verstappen confirming upgrades, there are no visible aerodynamic revisions on the RB20. Changes might be internal, with cooling louvers opened on the upper rear body. McLaren has brought 2 upgraded cars, fully implementing the Miami upgrades on Oscar Piastri's car. The team feels confident in their performance at Imola. Track changes runoff areas have been reduced and replaced with gravel traps to better control track limits, enhancing the race's intensity and challenge.